Good morning and welcome back to Community Couch Time, a daily talk show where we talk about things that are important, things that are happening in our community, in our state, in this country, and internationally. Oftentimes, the topics that we discuss are ones that others aren't talking about. And the question is, why aren't we? And so now a word from Ms. Wallace.
Good morning, great minds and good people. I'm Miss Tiffany Wallace, and thank you for having me for Community Couch Time. Now, let's start the discourse.
Good morning and welcome back to Community Couch Time. How are you, Ms. Malgoza?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm really excited to be here with one of my student leaders, Charisse, and I'm super excited to be here with you, Ms. Cardona.
Thank you so much, Charisse, for being here today. As Ms. Malgoza said, it's very exciting to have you. We love your voice. We love the things you have to share. And so in honor of Black History Month, which is the month of February, we're going to ask you a couple of questions around that. And I just also want to let everyone out there know that that it's in my opinion that every single month of the year is Black History Month, but we do have a national month dedicated to Black History Month. So we're going to use this as our sort of kickoff for that month. And so I have a question for you. Why is it important that we acknowledge Black History Month and teach our youth about love and acceptance?
Hi, good morning, by the way. I'm Charisse. I feel like it's important to acknowledge Black History Month because it's the month that makes us pay homage to like our African ancestors who had to suffer through slavery and go through a lot of bad things so that me personally and Black persons all around the world to be free and to be able to do what they want to do.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that you also talked about like Black persons throughout the world, because there is an African diaspora, right? There are Black folks all over, including the country that my family comes from, which is Mexico. And so thank you for saying that. That's beautiful.
So we're going to go ahead and continue this conversation. I know in class we've been talking a lot about what it means to freedom dream, right? What it means to think about a world without oppression, a world that gives us more opportunity as people to be free. And so I want you to tell me, what makes you feel free to dream?
I feel free to dream honestly when I look at what my ancestors went through in the past and how if they tried to do anything, they would cut their heads off and put them up and stuff like that. And when they finally got, a little bit of freedom and they started making Black businesses and then the KKK came around and then it was just eliminating everything that was good for Black folks. Looking back at that, looking at those memories, it just makes me feel free. It makes me feel privileged because they didn't have what I have. So that in itself makes me feel free to dream because people like me had it worse than how I had it. So I feel free to dream when I look at that.
Yeah, and we're very thankful to our ancestors, right? To the ancestors that resisted to make it possible for that dream to be possible now, and for the dreams that we continue to have. So I have another question for you. What makes you feel safe to thrive in school and in your community?
Well, at school, I'm friends with all of my teachers, like Miss Malgoza, for example, and it makes me feel free to thrive when I see that she really wants to see the best from me. Like I can go to her and talk about anything, and she always pushes me to do my best. And not only Miss Malgoza, just all of the teachers, period, like they always want to see the best from me. And like in my community, it's the same, not teachers, but like folks that I know and my friends, they're always supporting me. They always want to see the best from me. And even when I'm doubting myself, they always tell me not to doubt myself and stuff like that. That makes me feel free. That makes me want to thrive. Sorry about that. Yes, that makes me actually want to thrive. And yeah, that it makes me want to win for them. Like, even if I'm like, I don't really care what's going to happen in the future anymore. I just do it because I know they're expecting greatness from me.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Charisse, you use your voice, especially in the classroom and in the school community, to give light to issues that are happening around us. Why do you do that? What makes you feel like you should use your voice and support the communities that that are suffering right now?
I feel like minority communities never really had anybody to speak for them. And there's people speaking for all types of communities, but nobody ever really speaks for the minority community. And knowing that I'm a part of the minority community makes me feel like it's imperative that I do speak for them. And so I just have to speak and raise awareness to issues that folks do not know of, because this just should happen.
Yeah. What are some issues that you feel really passionate about right now?
Some issues that I feel really passionate about right now, I feel really passionate about police brutality, because if we can reminisce to the summer when we were talking about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and we saw how Black people all around America, all around the world started marching for peace, and the police came and there was rubber bullets and there was tear gas and everything. And if we can look back to when the Trump supporters, they stormed the Capitol, and it was no tear gas, it was no rubber bullets, it was none of that. I just feel like that is something that is really something that we should look at and see the difference. Black people are marching for peace, and they're arresting people rather than just arresting the cops that did the crime. And when the white people were marching and storming and rioting, no one did anything. So that's really something to look at. I feel really passionate about that.
Thank you. I feel confident with you as a leader that we're going to be able to see change in the world. So thank you for that, Charisse, from the bottom of my heart. So I have another question for you. I don't really, I just lost my question now. So what do you think we need to envision a world, envision schools without the type of oppression that we see currently?
I think what we need to envision in school without like world oppression, what would I say? I would say like for Black History Month, like what we did last year, how we had I forgot what it was called, but I remember some Afro-Cuban people, they came and they were dancing and they were teaching us how to dance. I think it's imperative to know our roots, our roots.
Mhm.
So for Black people, it like subjects like how you guys teach about Black history, and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
That could happen. And without that, I feel like people just don't care otherwise. And even though we're doing that, I want to say that's something that we can do to make things more known. But unfortunately, if people don't want to know, then they're just not going to, if they don't open their minds to it, then, it's not going to happen. But I feel like we should just continue doing what we're doing because we're on the right track.
Yeah, Charisse, and you mentioned you really loved when Omoache came and they performed and taught us about that history. And, I agree with you as an educator. I think it's so important to teach you all and to have these conversations about resistance, but also about the resilience of these communities, right? Because so often we talk about that struggle that is very critical for us to understand and acknowledge, but also we want to learn about those resistance movements and the hope that these communities have managed to have despite a lot of the difficulties in history.
Yeah.
This Black History Month, seeing how everything happened in 2020, I feel like this Black History Month is very important, and I feel like we should do more, like as in for school, we could be more, you know how we have the assemblies for the whole school? For like the first of Black History Month, like the first time when we come together as a school, we could do something like educational, like talking about the old times, because Black History Month is always important, but I feel like this month is like super important. Now we see that racism in America and the world is still very present. It's really something that we need to do to show people the goodness of being Black and, be there for Black people all over the world.
Thank you. And so we'd like to invite you, Charisse, for office hours on Monday to plan something like that with some of the teachers on campus that agree with you. And anyone else out there, contact us, let us know, and you can be a part of that planning process as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharice. We really appreciate your voice and how you're using your voice to make changes. And as I said before, because of you, I do feel I have more hope knowing that this world is going to be in really good hands with you and your peers. And so for everyone out there, I have a community couch time daily journal question. And the question is, when you think of a free world, what do you think of? And so please think big picture. Share with us. Let us know. We're interested. Thank you. In la catch.